Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're going to be reviewing The Suicide Squad by James Gunn. This is the DCU's newest entry into their films. Now, there was a lot of hype going into this because obviously James Gunn is a master of directors. He's amazing. Both Guardians films were great for me. I haven't seen a lot of his other work. That is literally his peak for me. That's what I know him for and what a lot of people know him for. So yeah, all I had to go off from him was the Guardians films. So I love those two films. And the first trailer for this film got me hyped. I genuinely got hyped by that. And then the second one threw me off, and I don't know why. I might go back and rewatch my reaction to that trailer because I'm intrigued as to what threw me off. Because it's a James Gunn film, and he was given free reins by Warner Brothers and DC to do what he wants and to give his full imagination for this story, and him to be able to utilize whatever he wanted, have full creative vision behind the camera. So I don't know why I would have doubted this film. Maybe it was because personally I like that old Suicide Squad film, and I still stick with that. I really do like that film. And a lot of people forget that that film got tampered with a lot by Warner Brothers. Go look into it. It's facts. Even the director, David Ayer, has come out and said, look, Zack Snyder got his chance to give his full vision for Justice League. The same thing happened to me. I deserve my chance as well, which I hope we get that. I don't think we will. It doesn't have the same power behind it as the Snyder Cut did, but I would love to see that because I love that film even after it was tampered with. So if you go back and look at the Suicide Squad trailer, the original Suicide Squad, there was a lot of stuff from Jared Leto's Joker that was in there with the suit and the machine gun and the bomb, and it looked so cool. And it just shows that the studio came interfered with stuff that they shouldn't have interfered with, and it's a shame because that film gets really bad heat from fans and from just movie watchers in general. I think that film deserves a lot more credit. It's really fun, entertaining. Doesn't have to be a world-renowned story to tell, and great storytelling. It's not that sort of film. It's Suicide Squad. It's in the name. It's there to entertain you and just to be a fun ride, which I thought that first one was. However, am I a fanboy? If I was a fanboy of that first film, I would not say to you right now that James Gunn's Suicide Squad is better in almost every single way. This film is insane. Pure insanity. Now, I feel like it's well known now that Marvel keep their films under wraps and keep them contained into they tamper with it very much like Warner Brothers do, but Warner Brothers sort of gives the directors reins to put their own take and their own flavour on the film and let them do their thing. Whereas I think Marvel don't do that. Which is credit to them in a way because it's been successful so far, but Marvel are more hands-on with their entries into their Marvel Cinematic Universe to have them feel and match the whole story. Whereas that can be like great, it can be. We've seen it with stuff like Captain America, the Winter Soldier, stuff like that. They're clearly successful. But then there's the flip side to that with films like Thor: The Dark World that just suck all of the fun and the flavour out of the director's vision and just give you a bland, average film. And they're the worst types of Marvel films, are the ones that are just average and boring and just have no exciting, no life. And I think this film seeps of James Gunn life and directing ability. This film is insane. The characters, we'll start with the characters. I believe these characters are ridiculous. Like, they're not supposed to be taken seriously, as this film isn't. That's the point, that's the premise. And if you react to this, the second trailer like I did, and sort of was just down and like, oh, this isn't what I want, but it is, because this is what we knew we were getting. It's James Gunn, and this was his vision, and the characters are great. Standouts for me are Bloodsport. I thought he was quite good. I wasn't sure. I thought he was going to be a Will Smith knockoff Deadshot. because he's basically the same, let's be honest, and he's got that daughter relationship. But after watching this film, it's clear that the daughter's relationship to the father, which was Bloodsport and Will Smith in the other film, is a very different dynamic, and I think that's very good. Not to say that one's better than the other, they're just different, and it's good to see that this isn't just the same character written with a different name, and that's that. I think Idris Elba does a great job. He does his thing. He has his very small... He's got, for me, I might be wrong, but he's got a very small acting range. But he's like The Rock in that sense. Like, he does his thing, and he's great at doing it. Now, for me, Peacemaker was probably the best, if not up there. He's definitely up there. Peacemaker by John Cena is just a fun, just insane, psychopathic, but in a way not, character. Now, he gives us so many funny lines. His whole concept contradicts itself. It's like a juxtaposition. It's so funny that he's Peacemaker, and some of the stuff he does and says and choices he makes, it just defies the point of himself. It's just ridiculous, and John Cena is the perfect person to play him. John Cena plays Peacemaker expertly, as John Cena could. Now, we all know John Cena's not a great actor. Like, that's out there. If you've watched Fast 9, if you've watched any of The Marine, all of those sorts of films, you know that John Cena is not a great actor. But when he fits these small pocket roles that just are so stupid that it works, then that's all you need. I think John Cena did great. Harley Quinn, as always, Margot Robbie does a fantastic job playing this character. I still, and people might slate me for this, I still think the best Harley Quinn we ever got in the DCU was the original Suicide Squad in 2016. Now, people might agree or disagree, but I just think she was insane. She did whatever she felt like in the moment. She was very spontaneous. I love them playing into her relationship with Jared Leto's Joker. All the flashback stuff I really like, because it's like that. It was like that in the Batman animated series, and it's a very toxic but interesting dynamic and relationship that her and Jared Leto's Joker had. So yeah, I really enjoyed her in that film. Not to say she's bad here. She's great here. She's up there as one of the best as well. She has this really weird little sub, and I usually hate subplots because they're either boring or just not relevant. And this basically isn't relevant, but it's just so self-aware and just funny that you don't really care, because there's this whole bit with her and the prince of, or president of wherever they're at. Is it Colombia or something like that? But she ends up just killing him out of nowhere, spontaneously, because he says something. And I love the little line where she goes, "Now, since my last boyfriend, I've been looking for red flags." I just think that's so Harley Quinn. That's such a Harley Quinn thing to say, because obviously her ex was Joker. So yeah, I really hope the DCU doesn't just bin Jared Leto's Joker, because I feel like Zack Snyder's Justice League gave us a little taste of how good he could be. And I don't even think in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he was great, and I still to this day love Jared Leto's Joker. Loved him in 2016's version as well. Whenever I eventually do a review for that film, I'll talk about why. Like, you might be thinking why, but I'll talk about then. Keeping it short, I'll just say that there's other Jokers that are more accurate of the main Joker that everyone likes, like the guy from Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Joker. But what people don't get, like Batman in this universe, it's a different take on that character from a comic run in just DC Comics. There's different versions of characters. It's like Spider-Man in The Amazing Spider-Man to Tobey Maguire. They're very different types of people, but they're the same person. It's just a different take on it, if that makes sense. Now, you can prefer one to the other, of course. A lot of people just want Heath Ledger's one, and that's that. I love Heath Ledger's Joker, but this is a different take, and you take that for what it is. You don't go, "Oh, this one's stupid, he's just a gangbanger, he could be anyone, he's literally just a gang member with weird tattoos." Yeah, that's the take of this character. You're not allowed, you don't have to like it, but don't slate it for being what it's trying to be. That's all I'll say, because with this Batman, everyone complains, "Oh, this Batman kills, this isn't Batman." it's set even in the first Batman v Superman trailer that this Batman is near the end of his Batman career. Robin's been killed already by Joker. And even in Suicide Squad, the first one, it shows Harley Quinn, literally it says at the bottom, accomplice to the murder of Robin. Like, they've set this up. So I think that they're very different takes, and it's annoying for me that Jared Leto's been ruined by the fans and by the studio. But anyway, massive sidetrack there, but let's get back on topic. This film, the action is nuts. It's gory. It just takes advantage of that R rating. I haven't seen a superhero film take advantage of the R rating more since Deadpool. Sorry, that Deadpool 1. I believe Suicide Squad in 2016 was R rated as well, but you wouldn't be able to tell that at all. This film fully takes advantage of it. There's so many cool visuals, just disgusting scenes, and it's literally a comic book dream, because you'd never think we would be allowed this. Like, you really wouldn't, but it's so entertaining, the action scenes, and they're filmed spectacularly. No shaky cam stuff, nothing like that. It's James Gunn. He knows what he's doing, so yeah. Last thing I'll say is there's a really good soundtrack to this film. This soundtrack is great. Very Guardians-like in a sense, you can sort of relate that. And a lot of people make the comparisons to Suicide Squad being like DC's Guardians. I agree, but Suicide Squad's, it's very different in a way. It's more they are villains, whereas Guardians, like, they're just people who have alternate motives and aren't really the best people, but they're not villains. So, yeah, I feel like this is more dark and dirty, like DC is, that everyone makes a joke of. But these are villains. You can tell that they're villains. So, yeah, I want to give a quick piece on Ratcatcher 2. Who knows I'd like that character? Like, if you tell me that that is a name of a character in DC and I'd like them in a film, I wouldn't believe you, because that just sounds stupid. But she is just great in this film. Her whole concept is really weird, and I'll give another quick shout out to King Shark with Stallone doing the voice. Just great. Just every time he's on the screen, everything he says, it's just funny. The voice is perfect. So yeah, I think those two deserve credit, because they're such stupid ideas and they just work. So yeah, I'm gonna give The Suicide Squad an 8 out of 10. I think this film is great. There's a few bits and pieces that I would have tweaked. I would have liked to see like characters like Weasel. As great as that opening is, it's like I kind of looked at the trailers and thought, I want to see these characters do something. And although I wasn't expecting them to do something for long, after all, it's called The Suicide Squad, I wanted to see something, and we really didn't see anything, which is a shame. So yeah, there's just a couple things like that, and a couple tropes here and there, but nothing major. It's great, and it just works. So I'm so glad that DC finally gets a definite win, because I saw on Rotten Tomatoes, this thing's at like 96% or something like that. It may have gone down by now. But yeah, I think this deserves that. Such a great film, so yeah, an 8 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.